What is up, Panthers? I am Billy B, your host, back again with episode 3 of Vinyl Verdicts. Today, I'm joined by my two guests who were recently in the last episode, Jarrod Biner and Justin Foster.
Hello, hello.
What's going on?
Great to be here.
Jarrod, it says there on the graphic, you are a certified feminist. I know I said this last episode too. Is this true? How do you plead to these allegations?
I am actually registered, so yeah.
Okay. And Foster said you were the old head connoisseur. Is this true?
Absolutely. And count me as a feminist, too. Shout out.
Hey, more power to you. All right. We're going to be starting off with Song of the Week. And my Song of the Week, I'm feeling Space Dementia by Muse, Like that song. I don't really know what genre I would define Muse as because they kind of alternate between pop rock and prog rock a little bit. I would say Space Dementia is more of a prog rock song, though. Love the piano in that song. Love how much passion, emotion. You can tell they're having a good time singing it. It's a great song, great stuff.
Can you catch a stray real fast? Can I call them Temu Radiohead?
No, I would completely agree.
Okay.
I think they're Radiohead, but more emo.
I've never really listened to them, but I will give this one a listen because you've earned the trust with some of your recommendations. I know we got we're pressed for time today, which is a bummer because I love these three albums we're talking about. But Song of the Week went on a nice run yesterday. I needed a jolt. I needed some energy. I went to this one, Japan Droids.
Okay.
The House That Heaven Built. If you just need one to bring your energy up, it is just rock and roll, garage rock, emo-ish, pop punk vibes. One guitarist, one drummer, wailing vocals. It's an anthem. House That Heaven Built, Japan Droids.
Got you. For mine, honestly, personally, I gotta say, Untitled '05 by Kendrick Lamar from his album Untitled Unmastered. A few throwaways from the To Pimp a Butterfly album, and that's personally one of my favorite songs off that album. Yeah, not much to say about it. I mean, it's really good. So
Discredit to call any of them throwaways. It's a good album on its own.
well,
So,
yeah, that's true.
I'm with you.
Good independent album.
It speaks to Kendrick right there.
Old Kendrick, he was on really different type of timing. It was some of the most poetic stuff I've ever seen, especially To Pimp a Butterfly. Great album. Great
Hey,
album.
I like New Kendrick too, so it's just
Yeah, I like him.
I
like
GNX
Kendrick.
wasn't my favorite, but I didn't think it was bad.
it rides. I'll say that. It's a
Yeah.
different type of project, but I'm still a fan. Big fan.
Yeah. Alrighty. The first album we were going to be talking about today was Jarrod's recommendation, which is Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs. And what I have to say about this album, I do like the Alchemist production. I think he's a very talented producer. Only thing I would say, though, is this album doesn't feel very special to me, and it doesn't feel like it would have much hold or influence. Like, it's one of those albums that releases, it's like, it's good, but how long will it be remembered? Who knows? I mean, obviously, every album is somebody's favorite album. That's just a guarantee. But I do appreciate the slight electric guitar element in this album. And that's just my bias towards rock. But I really do love electric guitar and rap. Yeah, I mean,
Jarrod, what is your selling point on this? This is an album that I was kind of excited that somebody from y'all's age knew, because I'm a Freddie Gibbs fan, and I'll say my piece in a minute. But what was your selling point in recommending this one?
Honestly, it's the thing that everybody says, the production. Production is, in my opinion, somewhat flawless on this album. The Alchemist, he uses a lot of throwbacks in his works, and I really think the production was a really good selling point for me in this album. I love Freddie Gibbs. I love his lyricism. I love what he raps about. So personally, I got to say the production.
See, I'm going to go another direction. I do love the production on this album. I really like this album, although I agree with both of what both of y'all are saying. To like Billy B's point, I think it's not one that you're necessarily going to point to as like this is a super influential album down the road, but it is really, really just a strong rap album in an era where those are harder to come by, like just front to back. I love to listen to this guy rap. I just love the way that Freddie Gibbs, I love his flow. I love how steely-eyed he is. There is an aggression to what he's saying. There's just something about he is ridiculously solid rapper, and this to me shows that as well as any project, coupled with the production, which is just it's lush, ornate, beautiful. His rapping is not. It is very pointed, aggressive, and straightforward. And I think there's the two of those really mesh well, and I really, really like this album.
Yeah, and I gotta say, there is one song on this album that really stuck out to me is rather fantastic, and that was Scotty Beam. That's probably gonna be a bit of a more weird pick, but I love that they incorporated the piano on that song. Piano is like my second favorite instrument. I love seeing it used and stuff. I love seeing any string orchestral, like in anything really, especially rap, because I think just poetry and that go really, really well together, especially with the flow of rhyming and things. And having that in Scotty Beam was just such a nice little touch. It was like, okay, this is probably my favorite song off the album.
What you got to know with Freddie Gibbs, like if this dude shows up on somebody else's track, he is about to absolutely annihilate. And his projects are great, but I think of I'm a big Danny Brown fan, and like Danny Brown featuring Freddie Gibbs, a song called "The Return," and like Freddie Gibbs, what he brings is just incredible. So you know he's going to bring it on somebody else's track, but this to me is like his best project. And like revisiting it, I was like, yeah, like I think you kind of forget it just because it is straightforward in what it's doing, but what it does really, really well.
Personally, I gotta say, favorite song off this album is it's gotta be "Babies and Fools." It's the song with him and Conway the Machine. Honestly, it's one of my favorite songs off the album.
Conway with a really nice verse.
He really did have a nice verse. He rapped about not seeing his children. So yeah, it was. I really like that song off the album.
1985 for me.
Intro track,
Great. I mean, yeah, I know, but you know, if you bring up the first one, it's kind of like, oh, come on. But yeah, fantastic stuff.
No,
I know we're pressed on time, so I would love to sit and talk about this. I know we got two more to get to, so.
Yeah.
And my final grade for this album is about an 8.4 to an 8.5, so just a B flat. I would say that I haven't really listened to much of Freddie Gibbs' other works. I saw there was an Alfredo 2. No clue if that's good or not.
Yes.
But this was an enjoyable listen, just not one I thoroughly enjoyed. And one that I would maybe revisit on a, specific kind of day. I have to feel a specific kind of way. But I would definitely revisit this project in the future, just later on down the line. But it'd have to be like the right conditions, honestly.
Heavily listenable. Like I said, the lack of influence. If we're talking like big picture, a B plus sounds bad. I don't mean that as like. I think something in the high 80s is really, really good. It is something that I've revisited over the years. I'm a big Freddie Gibbs guy. So B plus for me, but yeah, that's going to be like in the 88 range, which is really, really good.
Honestly, I always have a song from this album on rotation almost daily. So I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go A minus for this one. There's always a song in rotation on this album for me. It's always that type of day for me. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's understandable. I get that. The next album we're going to be talking about is maybe not what I would consider the best of this episode, but is definitely my favorite and definitely one that I listen to a lot. Brazilian Skies by Masayoshi Takanaka. Good Lord, this album is just a vibe, man. It's so easy to listen to. You can just throw this on while you're driving. It flows. There's literally no bad song on this album, front to back. It is dang near perfect, but it's kind of small. It didn't have much large influence, especially for jazz fusion as a genre. And even though I think Takanaka is the greatest jazz fusion artist of all time, no debate, I would say that this album lacks in influence, unfortunately.
Can I disagree with you? But the influence, and maybe we had this conversation. We definitely did. I know it was brought up. Listen to this music, which kudos on this recommendation. What an album. I'd never heard it, but it is in my regular rotation now. But Mario Kart, the music of Mario Kart, which, like some of this, I'm like, did they sample it? Like, because some of these tracks really do sound like that, but it's more fully realized than what you get on the video game. But I see that influence there, and it clearly has influenced certain areas. I know what you're saying, but that's not to discredit it, because this is a really unique sounding kind of vibe, and it pulls from other influences. But that influence of like gaming, I feel like is significant and shouldn't be discredited.
I haven't played Mario Kart in years, so I wouldn't know.
Give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't really into the big whole jazz fusion scene before this album was recommended to me, and I took a listen to it. I always give everything a chance, and personally, it kind of changed my perspective on the whole thing. It was like, I don't know, it's like when you hear it, it's just like you're seeing colors, kind of like synesthesia in a way. I don't know, it's just like when you hear something like this, you kind of just see colors. It gives you this feeling, you know, like you said, Mario Kart. It took me back. I used to play Mario Kart Wii a lot, so it kind of took me back to those days. And yeah.
Picking the favorite off this thing is very difficult, but if I had to, it'd be down to either Beleza Pura or Disco B. Both songs, absolute vibes. The guitar work on this album is absolutely insane. Takanaka might also be the greatest Japanese guitarist of all time, because what he's able to do and how he plays around with sound, there's a specific live performance, it's of Beleza Pura, where he achieves such a bittersweet sound with the guitar, and it is gorgeous. It's one of the greatest live instrumentals I've ever heard. I'd highly recommend a listen to this album. And if I were to touch on anything else about this album, I'd have to mention the fact that he did a live performance to these songs playing a surfboard guitar, which is just insane to me. It's like one of the craziest, coolest guitars I've ever seen. It's like actually a surfboard.
Yeah, I saw, that's when you look him up, that's what you're seeing. And to sort of add to that, just the vibe of this album is really refreshing, man. It just puts you in a really good mood. But it's simple to enjoy, but there's so many layers to it to kind of peel back. It's an album you can live with and spend time with and learn to appreciate more. My favorite track has got to be Disco B. You said a perfect album. The Star Wars one kind of doesn't totally do it for me. I will say it's grown on me, though. And it is one you can just kind of put on front to back, and it's going to put you in a good mood, but that does not belie the intricacy that is present in the album. It's a simple one to enjoy, but it's one that you can spend time with and blooms and continues to offer new treasures each time you listen to it.
Like, if there were ever an album that most perfectly matched the vibe of its cover, it's this one.
It's the great album cover, great album. One of the better like recommendations a student has ever given me, because I'm like, man, what is this obscure stuff? Like, oh, great cover, and then you put it on, and it's like, yep, that
Syncs up perfectly.
cover nails the vibe. And I've been spending a lot of time with this one.
Yeah, honestly, I have to agree with the both of you with Disco B.
So funky.
Yeah, genuinely, it's just a really good album. So starting with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get my rating up. I gave it a 10. I'm gonna just say it. That's pretty bold, but I gave it a 10.
So that's like an A+.
That's an A+.
Yeah, it's an
Yes.
A+.
I said A-, and this is only because I feel like in order for me to give an A+, I got to spend some more time with it. I think it's one that certainly, you ask me in a couple months, I might have it at a 10, at an A+. But A- is probably about as good as I can give something that I've spent, 2 weeks listening to. So really, really great stuff.
I got to agree with Oster with the A- rating here. I think this album is spectacular, but what's barring me from giving it a 10 is, honestly, I do like it, but Star Wars Samba is a bit of a drop down in quality from the rest of the album. The novelty of it wears off kind of quick. It's just a rehash of something that already exists, and I like originality. I do think it's like a nice, okay, that's cool, but I don't think it's it's not on the same level of quality as these other songs at all.
The charm of it's kind of grown on me, though, I'll be honest. Like, it's kind of a cover, but it does have its own style. So it plays to his style. So I feel you, but I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah. On to the third and final album here. Probably the best album this episode. There's a Riot Going On by Sly and the Family Stone. This was Foster's recommendation, and I'm glad he recommended it to me. I did thoroughly enjoy this album. I think it's not one I can just put on at any time, like Brazilian Skies, but it's definitely one I will put on in the future. The production on this album is great. The vibe is great. I think my favorite song would have to be Just Like a Baby. That one. I was listening to that. I don't know why it stuck out to me as much as it did. I can't even put my finger on it. I don't know how to describe this album. It's just so. It's trying to make a point, and it makes that point perfectly. It is a response to What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, at least in the title. And these are both very, quite frankly, political albums. And it's just great stuff. It's fantastic. I'm gonna immediately skip to my rating here. I gave this a flat 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic work.
So this is one of, spoiler, in a search for your favorite album of all time. This is on a very short list. It's one I can put on at any time. The vibe and the sound is so influential to hip hop, to R&B, to modern sampling. If you listen to stuff like Frank Ocean, if you listen to kind of this modern sound of R&B, like you can put this on and it still sounds so modern. Sly had a lot of personal issues. He just passed away not long ago. It is a wonder he lived as long as he did, lived a very hard life and kind of pushed away a lot of his bandmates. And you hear that isolation on this album. He recorded a lot of it himself. The sound of it is so weathered. It has this like lo-fi. It's still very warm, but it is beaten down. It's tired. And you hear that in the recording. But yeah, to the politics of it, that's all there. But I also think there's kind of... he's just kind of there's this dissolution of what next, because there's a riot going on, there's all this going on in our society, but so what, nothing changes, and here I am alone to kind of gather my thoughts. The bass lines on it, the synth, the guitar sound is again very ragged, very tossed off. It sounds effortless, but it is some of the best songwriting of the era. Sly, to me, is always just a fascinating guy. You can go watch interviews with him, see performances. He's one of one. And this is an album I've been listening to for 20-plus years. It will continue to peel layers as I've listened to it this week. And in preparation for this, it's like you hear new things. You have new favorites. And when the deeper cuts start to stand out to you, that's when you're you're really feeling the charms of this album. To me, it is an A+, 11 out of 10, perfect album, and one of those that you will start to hear it in other stuff as you go. So picking a favorite, it is tough to say. I would have to say the closer, the two long tracks, Africa Talks to Me, and is it Concrete Jungle? There's like parentheses. I will circle back on the exact title, but those two are probably my favorites. But I cannot say enough good about this album. What I would tell both of y'all is give it more spins, because it really is one over time as it sinks in and you spend time with it. It is definitely a classic, no question.
Yeah, and reiterating on that, definitely got to spend more time with this one. It was really good. The bass really stuck out to me, like he was mentioning the bass. The synths, I love bass, I love synths, I love all that. And honestly, this album I gave it an A flat as well. It's a really good album. I can't go into too much depth about it, considering time-wise, but yeah, I really liked it. So it's an A for me.
I know we're about out of time, but yeah. Thank you for talking to me, Africa, and Africa Talks to You. Those two probably got to be my two favorite. But yeah, these were three great albums. I know last time we did Benson Boone, which not my cup of tea. I would rather
Not mine either.
I would rather talk to you about music that I love, and a lot to love. You pick any of these three albums, and I think you're going to enjoy it. But yeah, great picks from everybody.
Music as a whole has always been about feeling, and I'm not gonna lie, I think without music, life would be so much more dull. And these are three albums that kind of exemplify that because they all have such great vibes to them. They all stick out. Maybe not stick out, but they all are very enjoyable to listen to, and they uplift your spirits almost when you listen to them. And it's things like that is the reason why music exists. Music isn't necessarily the sound, it's the feeling that sound gives you. And that is what's absolutely beautiful about it, is how we can achieve that. Music is the greatest form of art, and so long as we continue making it, things will only get better. Things will only evolve. I was Billy B, your host, joined by my two guests, and this was Final Verdict, episode 3.
See y'all later, man.